Hey, academics were big to Dad, and he just shoveled that responsibility off to you. He was a great influence with academics. You guys, was there any better student athletes than you and Dad ever? Him an All American academic, you straight A's at the academy, and Adams.
Well, it
My
it was
goodness, why is academics such a easy road for you and Dad?
well. I definitely wasn't straight A's at Academy, and if there's anybody from Academy watching, they're like, man, because we had a lot of kids who were athletically talented and extremely smart, but more so than extremely smart is they were extremely hard workers, and that was really what I learned at Academy was how to manage your time a little bit and how to use free time during the day, and that was the best thing about going there. And I still say to this day, I learned more in my 2 years at Albuquerque Academy than a lot of what my college taught me. And some of that was because I got to college and my motivation. It took me years to find my motivation. Because I just never found something that I really wanted to study too much. But
Let's
the
stop
kids at
there.
Academy
Tell
were
me,
great
give me
students.
the influence, the rub off of all those qualities that you're talking about right now. How much of that do you credit Coach Mike Brown?
Oh, he was vital in my 2 years at Academy, and was really just like a father figure. I mean, he really was, and I ran into Coach and Greg. I was refing, and I was out in Vegas, and I'm refing some, game kids from all over the country, all over the world, and they're getting together in Vegas. And I look over and I see Greg and Coach, and I'm like, heck yeah. And then Fish was coaching, AJ was there. They had all their boys playing. Um, and so it was just great to sit with Coach Brown there in Vegas, and it makes me think back to sitting in his office there at Academy and just listening to him and just being around, and just he was a great guy, um, and just loved being around, loved the kids, and at Academy we have a saying that we still live by, all of us, is family. We're a family, and once you're a part of that family, you're a part of it. You're in, and so it's been tough.
How about Danny and Greg, close friends?
I got the pleasure of working with Greg at Volcano, and shoot, we won the whole stupid thing, and we're the 12 seed. Nobody even thought about us, and we're in it. Like, dude, we lost in the semis of the Metro by two, playing terrible, when one kid goes off, and we almost won the Metro tournament. We almost won the Los Lunas tournament. We almost won this tournament, and then we got beat by Cleveland, and we were all sophomores in David Cormier. And then we had a junior Jarrell that could really shoot. He hit like 7 in a game to beat Rio Rancho when David fouled out, and we won that first round game in overtime. And Greg is just, man, Greg might be as prepared as any coach, if not more prepared than any coach in the state. Like, he loves it. He's about it. He sits there. He plans his practice every day. He's got the whole whiteboard in there with all of his sets, all of this. Okay, we got our secondary. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got, and he just, his passion for striving for success is tough to match. And I really learned a lot from working with Greg, and my favorite thing, getting back into the Academy family and moving back to New Mexico, and did my masters, and like, oh, Coach Brown's over at Volcano. I'll go to Volcano and I'll do my masters over there and work with Greg, and And so it ended up working out. And then he needed a spot, and he called me, and the day before the season, and I was getting ready to go snowboard all year. And then Greg comes up and says, "You want to coach?" In the back of my mind, I'm going, "Not really. I want to go snowboard." But and it had been such a job for so long, and everybody's experience is a little bit different, and for kids that want to go play is it's work. It's a grind, and now with college athletes being paid, or the ability to be paid on some level, it's going to get even more competitive. And the kids who are going to make it, a lot of times, are going to treat it like work, to where, I don't mean like to the point where you don't enjoy it, but sometimes when you're doing something for 6 to 8 hours a day, you're lifting for an hour, and you're doing yoga and TRX for 30 minutes, you're lifting for an hour and a half. So you got a 2-hour workout, you got an hour conditioning, or 2 hours of shooting and ball handling. I mean, you're at 4 or 5 hours right there. You've got conditioning maybe for another 30 minutes. You're playing for, an hour or two. Next thing you know, on a real summer day, when you don't have anything else to do, if you're a kid and you're really competitive and that's what you say you want to do, well, you should be in the gym for no less than probably 5 hours.
Wow.
Working out for an hour and a half, taking care of your body. And that's just lifting. And then you've got training, shooting, working on your skill. And then you're playing pickup games and getting runs against older guys, this and that. By the time it's all said and done, you're in the gym 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. And it's a grind. And I was going somewhere with that. I don't remember what you asked.
Forrest, let me slow you down.
Oh, no, I remember what I was going to say. Is with all of that, and it can become that, and going back and working with Greg and kind of looking into different avenues within the game. And that was the funnest year, not because we won, but because of our staff, the guys, Jerron McIntosh, who was just won over at Del Norte. He was post-game in the locker rooms with us because he was there the year before. Cesar Cuevas was Greg's point guard at Manzano when they won, and has been his assistant for years, and would be great in a head job somewhere. And Cesar was there. Tripp was there. Like, it was a blast. We laughed so much and laughed post-game. Well, this happened. We just had so much fun. And Greg Brown and Volcano Vista and that year really brought me back to having fun within the game of basketball. And for that, I can't thank him enough.
Forrest, you're never at a loss for words. You're interesting. You should be an actor. And it's just a delight to catch up with you and share airtime on TV with you. And I've loved your dad, respected him forever. He's one of my greatest Lobo heroes of all time. You come along and you're just like that in many ways. You remind me a lot of Royce Olney because of your love for the outdoors, your personality. You dress like him, you act like him. You and Royce, are you guys tight?
We are. Him and Brian are pretty tight, and then my dad and Sam go back. So, I didn't meet Royce till I was a little bit older, and yeah, we communicate. Went up to elk camp, took Dad up there, and I saw him last year. I was scouting for an elk hunt, and I saw him up on the border between New Mexico and Colorado. And all of a sudden, somebody's driving like a bat out of hell, honking the horn behind me. And I'm going, what is going on? And he flies in front of me and like points to the side of the road. I'm like, who did I piss off? I'm about to get in a fight up here. I don't know what's going to happen. I might get shot. And I get out and it was Royce. I was like, oh, man. So, and it's funny because Brian, Chalk, myself, and Royce, our birthdays are like December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So we learned that we're all friends and we all guide and hunt and this and that. And so it's like, guys, we need a 3-day fishing trip, like 3 coaches' kids, 3 basketball nuts, and go up and have a 3-day fishing trip for our birthday one of these years.
Hey,
but he's a cool guy.
before we say bye, and that's a true story, because when I was at Cliff, I broadcast a game. We couldn't do a game because there was no internet. Do you have internet in Cliff? Do you have Cliff and
If I said no, my girlfriend would probably hit me, because if your internet goes down, she's the one that you call to fix it.
Is she watching today?
No, she's actually at work right now, and she was the Cliff girls coach last year, and she coached on the east side of the state. And so, yeah, she's been around a little bit, and she's actually fixing all the internet right now, and she loves what she does. But yeah, we do have internet, and it's actually pretty good internet, unless the lightning knocks it out, which has a tendency to happen.
I love Cliff, and I love Pete Shock. Say hi to him for me.
And, absolutely, will do.
And I get the greatest love and respect for your dad, Ron.
We love you too, Henry.
So nice to hook up with you again. Forrest Becker. Wow.
Thank you. I appreciate the call.
Huh?
I appreciate the call. This was fun.
This is great for me. Well, we'll do it again. And then when you're right in the midst of coaching, whether it be golf or whatever, we'll check in again with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Hollywood, I call you, man. You're perfect for a Hollywood spot.
Hey, I don't want Hollywood. If you want to hunt or fish, come with us at Wild Out Pro. You can go to the website, wildoutpro.com. He's out of Farmington. We got Brian Schock, the head coach out of Cliff. He's in charge of all the fishing.
Yeah.
So, and Derek is actually a baseball coach at, I believe, Farmington, Derek Martin. It's either Farmington or Piedra Vista. I forget. I'm just not as connected with that part of the state as I used to be since I moved away.
Ladies and gentlemen, see, you turn on that switch with Forrest, and we'll be entertained all day. We have Chito Reyes coming up next.
Come fish with us.
Hey, don't go yet. Have you ever heard of the name? Because you're so young. This was a former Aggies star in 1970. The Aggies went to the Final Four.
My dad was talking about that team the other day. He's like, we were talking about that team yesterday.
Yeah, look at that. Well, Chito went head-to-head with your dad, and he's on the show next. Small world, huh?
It is. I'm going to have to get off. The rivalry, north-south, I can't talk too much. I'm going to get competitive. No, that's fun.
Hey, how many gas stations in Cliff?
One.
That's it?
There's only 5 businesses. We got a gas station, real estate. What else is there? There's the internet, the school, and number 5 is a custom rod building shop. So if you need a custom fly rod, Darren actually, and I build them too. It's funny, like of all places, you move to Cliff where there's not a whole lot of running water. Like there used to be more smallmouth in the Gila, but some of the fishing, it's backcountry. Like we got donkeys, we got llamas. We're packing in, staying overnight to go chase Gila trout. There's world record Gila trout, big old snarling backcountry rainbows. But you don't think it because it's way back in the Gila and and it takes forever to drive there. But in little farming ranching Cliff, without a whole lot of water, one of the 5 businesses is a fly rod shop. Well, so it's a perfect fit for me.
I'll be there in the near future to do a feature story on you, whatever team you're coaching. Thank you for today, Forrest. God bless you.
Thank you, Henry. You too, brother. I love you.
I love you too. And you tell Coach Ron, big hug to him too, okay?
Will do.
All right, buddy. Be careful. Take care.
You
and
too,
someday, I know you'll be going down the aisle with that pretty girlfriend of yours. So give me an
Don't
invite.
start that, man. Come on. Come on.
Oh, you're amazing. Take care.
You too, Henry. Great to talk to you.
Same here, Forrest. Take care.
Bye.
Forrest. He's gone.
I'm here.
Hey, give me your senior year at the academy. What year was that?
2005. 0405.
It's amazing how time flies.
It does. Feels like it was a couple years ago.
Incredible. God bless you, buddy. Take care.
You too.
See ya. Wow.
Bye.
What a thrill to hook up with my longtime friend, Forrest Becker. And I used to broadcast all those Academy games when he and the Toppers and Mike Brown in their heyday, winning state championships at the pit. Wow, what a story. Let's go to our sponsor page real quick before we go to the longtime great academic All-American, All-League player Chito Reyes, Olympian. We'll come up next with Chito. But right now, check out all of these great sponsors. Oh, Amastroy Drywall and Ben Lucero at Indigo Mortgage. We got Kevin serving all that delicious food with Canteen at all the APS schools. And yeah, look at that. The Tabbitt family, Richie at Rax Lumber, and the Building Supply Organization with 6 locations in New Mexico. Wow. Action, Jackson, Compaction. You want to clean your yard real good? Chuck Jackson will take that big dumper out there. You throw everything in there, and then his crew will come and pick it up and take it to the dump. Hydro Bar, wow, the Baca family. Great, great people. Marty Seiss at State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor. Marty Seiss is always there. My friend Marty is writing a book right now, and it's a good one. I mean, he's been putting so much time into that book, and I want to buy it. I'm going to have him autograph it, but it's going to be something that all of you want to buy. The book of high school, New Mexico high school basketball history, written by Marty Seiss. New Mexico's #1 photographer. Nobody can outwork Marty. Nobody. He's always working, and he's always working for the kids. What a great guy. Man, love him. And we got the greatest producer on earth, Jimmy Tran, punching the buttons today. I am in such great company. Have guests on today like Forrest Becker. And coming up next, Chito Reyes. He'll be on the horn here in a couple of seconds. Is he on? I can't say enough about this guy. As a friend, as a former player, I was a hero. He was my hero when I was a kid because his 1970 team went to the Final Four and had, I'll let him tell the story, but then they could have won the national championship. Let's go now to California, LA, and bring on one of the greatest Aggie stars ever. And Chito Reyes, remember, Olympian, academic All-American, along with Ron Becker. And I hope that Chito got to hear a little bit of Forrest Becker, the son of Ron. But we have to bring on Chito regularly because people request him. Henry, you haven't talked to Chito lately. Get him on. Let's check in with him. Maybe he's become the most famous Aggie of all time. Easy to love, smart man, principal in LA. Here is Chito Reyes. Chito, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Henry. You had such kind words, man. Thank you. How you doing? You doing okay?
Healthy, man. And that's a big word today, healthy.
Good, good.
How's mom?
Mom's fine. Everybody's fine. You're trying to deal with all the little tribulations of life today, but everybody's good. Everybody's good, Henry. Thank you.
Yeah, and we have to be careful because that virus is everywhere. The numbers are going up a little bit again. Hopefully we can defeat that thing, get it off the planet,
Yeah.
and be normal again.
Yeah.
But we care about you, Chito, and people beg me to put you on. They really don't have to, but you really and truly become a favorite, a
Oh,
movie star to a lot of people, even Lobo fans.
oh boy. Now that's saying something. I got a Lobo on my side, though. That'd be something, though.
You know, you think about it, let's stop here. To be an academic All-American, you tell me how big a deal that is.
Henry, I think that one of the most important things that we have to do in our life today as we're growing up is I think there's certain things that you have to follow the rules along the road. And I think one of the most important things that I found is that I always wanted to study. I don't know why it was a thing, but I wanted to study, and I always wanted to kind of know things. I was always poking at things, reading the encyclopedia with that one book. Every book was a letter. And I'd always, after dinner, I'd get it when I looked through it, and I found that it was as I was going along, I wanted to play. I was in all the sports. I used to play all the sports, but I realized that they both of them work together. And I remember some of you going up through high school, junior high and high school, you hear of an athlete. Well, he wasn't academically eligible, and it was a shame because he could have been a good athlete, but he didn't study. And those are the things that I never ever wanted that to happen to me. And I found that the more you learn about life, you learn about the ball game, but you also learn about strategies. You learn about just different approaches to different things. And this all becomes a part of your study, whether you study a book, whether you study a person, whether you study a team, and the knowledge is the power that's going to make it all better for you, make it easier for you, in other words.
Wow. Major player, all-league player, and being all-conference on that huge, big-time team. What an honor to make all-conference, Chito Reyes, playing with Sam Lacey and Jimmy Collins and Charlie Chris, and all of you were all-league. Tell me, pound for pound, how good a team was that?
I tell you, of course, I'm going to be a little biased here, but you know what? I felt so much confidence, and you go in there, and the most important thing that you had to do your job. And if you did your job, I know that I've got some partners that are really good at doing their job. And whenever we went into different towns, you see the newspapers would, the headlines are Awesome Aggies in town tonight to play Utah or New Mexico or Arizona State. They'd always, the headlines are Awesome Aggies in town. And we took pride in that. And we knew that we had a pretty good chance of winning, and we just did what we had to do. Plus, we had an excellent coach in Lou Henson. So that made it a lot easier, but you worked hard, Henry. And you just want to be, you just don't want to be on the court. You want to contribute, just not from the top guy to the number 1, from number 12. You all wanted to be part of it. And
where
we all
did that influence come from? Chito, do your homework, study hard, make A's, don't make B's, make A's, Chito.
Yeah.
Where did that influence come from?
Well, I had some good family members, and it was just one of those things that not necessarily you got to study this subject, that subject, but being raised by my grandmother and a lot of people around me, my mom and my dad, whether they knew what you're studying, they didn't know you're studying algebra or geometry or whatever. They just knew that whatever you're studying, you better do it good. Do what you're doing, but do it good. And I think that's the whole purpose of everything. If you're going to sit down and read the book and get something out of it. I'd rather you understand. I'd rather you do one problem and understand how you got it, instead of answering 10 and you didn't have idea how you got it. So the whole idea was to figure it out. How did you do this? And then that was one thing that, like I said, whether it's my grandmother, my mom, my dad, or uncles, or brother, or sister, it was always about whatever you're gonna do it, but do it good. And I took pride in that. I wanted to. I used to get upset that I didn't know the answer. I wanted to hide. Don't pick on me, but I didn't want that to happen. And I think that was the most important thing, that I just didn't want to fail, Henry. I just wanted to do things, and if I study something, I wanted to know about this. I wanted to know about that, and I wanted to be prepared. I think, but like I said, it's better to know how you resolve one problem instead of you answering 10 problems and I have no idea really how you got it. You think you got the answer right, but how did you get there? That was the main thing.
Wow. As a young man, 19, 20, 21 years of age, in a town like Las Cruces, where you were a major celebrity in that college town. You'd walk around campus, you'd go to the shopping center, and people would want your autograph early in life, want to take a photograph with you. How did you handle all that special treatment and all that special recognition as a young man?
Well, Henry, to be honest with you, I didn't consider myself any kind of celebrity. That was way, way, way beyond me. That never even crossed my mind. And the only thing is that I always realized something that, I mentioned this before the other time we talked, when I first came down to New Mexico State. My grandmother, I returned and rejoined my grandmother here in New Mexico after going 3 years in high school in Los Angeles. I remember my grandmother called me to her house, and the first week of college that I was starting the college, and she always told me, she says, you know what, mijo, son, I don't want you to ever come tell me how good you are. Let other people come tell me, not that you're a good ball player, but that you're a good man. Be respectful and carry yourself like this. And that's what I mean. I never imagined that people were respecting me in that sense. I just knew that I didn't want to upset or do something wrong that might offend my grandma, my mom, or somebody. That was oh my God, that was something that was not about to happen. So you carry yourself like that and be respectful. And that's what she said, that, you treat people nice and they'll always respect you and they'll look up to you. So that was basically the same thing. I never considered myself a star. The team were stars, not me.
Well, I think that's a characteristic that all of you Aggies had. You were humble, played hard, practiced hard, and you just went about your business, and there was such camaraderie on your team. I'll never forget that either. And I had aspirations at that time of being a broadcaster, and I was a kid loving the Aggies, loving the Lobos.
Yeah.
I really admired the Aggies all my life. If you're in Albuquerque, you cannot be an Aggie, no way, nowhere, about anything. But I always fought that, even as a broadcaster. If the Aggies were playing tonight, I read that story with love and enthusiasm, and because I pulled for you, with one exception, when you were playing the Lobos.
Yeah.
Even then, as a broadcaster, I would have to be neutral.
Yeah.
But as a high school kid in the stands at the pit, when the Aggies and Lobos got together, man, we'd sleep the night before in sleeping bags just to get a ticket.
Yeah.
And every time you came in there, Chito, you were facing a big crowd.
Oh, yeah.
All that rivalry when 18,000 was down your throat.
Yeah. I'll never forget when you run out of that tunnel into that pit, you're putting your life in your hands, right? I guess the crowd and the Lobos. It was one thing that we always understood, that we're in for a battle. As much as we respected the Lobos, we didn't really like them. I can't say we liked them. We were partners. No, we didn't. We wanted to beat them bad. And the same thing, they wanted to beat us really bad. And I remember, your Lobo, my good friend of mine, Petey Gibson, we go at each other, and I don't care whether it was Petey, with Willie Long or Stretch Howard, whatever, you wanted to beat him up so bad. But afterwards, you go shake hands and run into him later on. Hey, how you doing? And it's one of the things that you always have to remember is that they got just as much pride as we did. And okay, now let's see, you don't want to give up one basket, much less 2 or 3 against your opponent. And the same thing that we weren't going to let them beat us. And I think the same thing goes with the coaches. The coaches, they didn't want. Coach Henson also took pride in having his team prepared and ready for battle. It's like Coach King, Norm Ellenberg and all these. It was one of those things that no matter what part or what section you're involved with that, the Lobos or the Aggies, everybody tried to do their best to beat your opponent. And it was awesome coming out of that pit. When you hear them booing you, that means, okay, maybe there's a reason. They don't know me personally, so I hope they're not booing me because as a man. They're booing me as a ball player, and I think that's one thing that maybe I've done something to make them not like me. So perhaps I did something right at the ball game.
The Olympic Games are underway.
Mhm.
I was thinking about you yesterday, and that's how we made contact.
Yeah.
Wow. Playing in front of the world.
Yeah.
And to the world, I mean, I watch whomever's playing. Mexico, Russia, Iran, and Yugoslavia. Who is ever out there? Certainly I'll watch the Americans, but it's the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
It's the cream of the crop of the world.
Right.
Chito, you were out there as an
Yes.
Olympian. What's it like?
Henry, like every 4 years, every Olympic year, it seems like you go into your memory vault and open it up and then pick out that immortalized memory of the Olympics. You savor it, because it's something that every 4 years turn by, you just kind of seem to feel the same vibes, and you feel like it's just, I tell you, I don't know if a lot of people know that, but at that time, it's for the Olympics, a country just doesn't send a team because they want to send a team. You got to qualify, and each continent sends a representative, and then the host country has a team, and then the last Olympic winner, so that makes a total of 9. Well, they have what they call the pre-Olympic tournament. And that year, and when we were in Montreal, that year was in Hamilton, Canada. So you have about 38 teams going to Hamilton, Canada, to fight for the last 3 spots to be able to go to the Olympics. So Mexico, the one that I was playing, so we go, and we had an excellent team. So we go to Hamilton, Canada, and lo and behold, after the first week, we were 3-0. We lost a couple of games, but then we won 2. And in the last game, we beat Brazil. And by beating Brazil, you should have seen it. It was like the buzzer rang, and a couple of my partners, Dave Nava, he went to the Olympics. We were at half court, and we looked at each other, and like said, wow, instead of going to Disneyland, I'm going to the Olympics, man, And then, so you come back, and then you kind of try to resort everything out. You go back to Mexico City for about a week or so, and then you tell me, now you practice. Now you fly back to to Montreal. And now you go in there, and I'll cut this short. I'm not going to carry on too much, but when on opening ceremonies from the Olympics, that was the first Olympics right after the massacre in Munich. So security was really, really intense, and everywhere you went, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police everywhere, on top of buildings and everywhere. They're protecting you, protecting the integrity of the games and all this. Well, for the opening ceremonies, Olympic Village was about 3 miles from Olympic Stadium. Well, they didn't bus you to the stadium. You walked in a parade from Olympic Village to Olympic Stadium. through the city, and all both sides of the street were lined with people cheering you on. So you can imagine walking from Olympic Village to Olympic Stadium through downtown Montreal, and the whole town, the city cheering for you. And it seemed like it took like 2 minutes. You didn't even feel anything. Then you get to the stadium, you walk in, and there's 86,000 people. You walk in and people there, you're cheering, you go around, all the countries are there. And then you walk around, and right in the middle of the finish line, as you go around the track, to the right was Queen Elizabeth. And Queen Elizabeth is right there. So you know the whole world is watching. It was a wild world of sports. And to be able to, you're like in a daze. You walk around and they put you where you're supposed to go. And then you see the Olympic flame lit up. And you get chills. You get chills of doing all that. And I mean, I could go on and on and on. Maybe some other time I'll tell you some stories that to this day bring chills to me. But it's amazing. And I'll tell you one thing, I won't keep you long, but the athletes today, you talk about, they're watching, a lot of people say, well, there's no crowd, right? They're watching the stadium. But what I saw the joy, the satisfaction of every athlete that came in. It didn't matter whether it was out there, because, they're there. They walked in that stadium. But you know what? There may not be people in the stands, but there's people back home. The neighbors, everybody's watching it. I saw one of the softball girls, they showed her family at home, and they were all in the backyard. There was about 20 people at the widescreen TV watching the local girl pitch for softball. So back there, they're watching. And it's a pride that I like to see how everybody's just smiling and so joyful and nobody can ever take that away. So 4 years from now, they'll go into that vault and bring back that memory. So amazing, Henry. It's a godsend, so blessed, so blessed.
What a communicator you have become. People love the way you communicate. You do it with enthusiasm, emotion. You're articulate and such an eloquent speaker, Chito Reyes.
Thank you.
I mean, wow. Today, being a principal and all the other things you do in LA, wow. You've always been smooth and confident, and everything we've seen you do as an athlete when you're in Las Cruces and we watch you with people, you're truly a people person. But if there is one attribute that you possess now that maybe early on wasn't a part of you, but it is today, and not that you're ever going to be anything but humble, but is there one attribute that you've developed over the years that you can point your finger at and say, wow, I do pretty good at that now? What might it be?
I think confidence, I think, is something that it's all a part of preparation but the confidence factor is, I think, that as you go along, I remember I was pretty shy. You can't tell by now, but I was pretty shy, like in elementary and junior high and high school. But then I was thrown out to the wolves out there in the public. So you eventually develop a little bit of confidence. You have to, because you're going to be out there anyway. So why not carry yourself well and prepare yourself and be confident? And like I'll tell you one quick thing. When Coach Henson, I landed in good hands with Coach Henson as a 17-year-old. And what I learned with my partners and being out in the Final Four and doing all this. Well, when I left there, I was fortunate to travel with the Mexican national team. And anywhere we went, any country, anywhere, any competition, Brazil or anything, Pan American Games, anywhere, I always felt that I could. I'm put in a situation I felt that I was mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared to whatever challenge was coming to me. And that was because of the confidence that you learn and you develop like through someone like Coach Henson. That's why I'm so indebted, and he's always been a special person in my life. Awesome.
I was sitting on the north end of the pit, down low. I was fortunate to get a seat way down low, just to the left in the student body. and you came down court. Charlie Chris hit you with a beautiful pass on the run. You stopped on a dime. You went high, I mean high, in the air. That perfect form, number 52, lets it fly, and boom! You and the Aggies with your long shirts. You look
Yeah.
sharp. Oh, man. But the way that ball hit the net,
Yeah.
and that's quite a sight for a player in a
Yeah.
heated game, one way or the other, 1 point lead or you're
Yeah.
behind one or whatever, and the crowd, the student body's on your case, no empty seats in the pit,
Right.
and you've
Right.
got the composure to get
Yeah.
the ball on the run from Chris, go high, and hit that shot. And when you see the net, too loud to hear the swish.
Yeah.
And when that net flies and the ball is clean in the net, what's the feeling, Chito?
It's amazement because you, you know, that's what you work for, Henry. It's just a little, and you know what the thing about it is? When you jump up and you release it, right from it leaves your hand, you have a pretty good idea if it's going to go in or not. If you just as long as you release it and the way your fingertips and the backspin that coming down there, you know it's got a good chance of going in. Or you don't want to shoot a dirt ball. But both, that's why the whole thing is just being confident and there's a reason why they throw you the ball. So
But
they
when you swish the net, psychologically, physiologically, what happens on the way down to set up your defense? What's that feeling?
You've done your job. Now let me stop this guy. Because I've always said, people would always say, oh, like in big games with big scores anywhere you went, even in high school, you start seeing it in Los Angeles, you play against some really high class ball players, you know, and even anywhere you went. And so they was, oh, who's going to guard you? Who's going to guard so-and-so? And he's averaging 40 points a game. Who's going to guard this? Oh, Reyes, you're going to have to guard him. Okay, I may have to guard him, but then he's going to have to guard me. See, so it's 1-1. So, you know, you take a choice. So we go back and forth, and it's just a matter of your preparation, like I said, and your confidence.
I told the viewers when we opened the show with you that I get recommendations. People call me, Henry, where's Reyes? We haven't had Chito on for a while, and they keep tabs of you, and they call me and say, Henry, don't forget Chito. Where is he? You become an extension of the star you were back in Cruise. Now you become a statewide celebrity. Don't be too humble, but people call for you when they grab me and say, Henry, get Chito on again. Man, they say, wow, that's great. And so I know in my eyes what you are today, several years after graduation. You could probably still put the ball in the hole, but now they love you for your leadership and inspiration, and their kids listen to you. Today, how are you received by Aggie Nation today? Because I mean it, Chito. There are a lot of Aggies watching this show.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing, and what a godsend, Henry, you know, because like I said, those words that my grandmother told me, that when you first come in here, you know, go in here, be humble. Don't you ever come tell me how good you are. Let the people come tell me that you're a good man. Now that all in itself, you go to a restaurant, you go into a store, you go to Walmart, you go to everywhere. Hey, Chito, how's it going? Like this, and I think it's what it means to me. It means a lot to the people too. And for it doesn't hurt you to take your time, turn around, you know, and even give them a hug if so, you know, because there are people come, hey, how are you doing? Are you still over there? But I think it was all a combination. The whole scenario, the whole ordeal, those years, that era, was the ball players, yeah, but also was the family, the fans, and the university. Everything just kind of blended in together, and it was super special. I mean, it's indescribable. Like I said, I always said that that my favorite word in the English language is intangible. You can't describe what you feel. And when it gets to that point, it's pretty special. You can't describe that. It's a godsend. I count my blessings every day. And now that I see the Olympics going on, I treasure and I'm so glad for these athletes that they're shortchanged as far as the crowd, but that memory is never going to go away, Henry. 4 years from now, they're going to open that vault again, and there's that memory where and it so happens sometimes. There's been times where I've just sat by myself in my living room and watched the opening ceremonies, and I get chills. I remember me walking in there, and it's just way beyond description of what you feel, because back in the day, you see these old movies with Hercules, and you see the competitions, the Olympics back in the day in Greece and stuff. And this is part of an extension of the whole thing. That's all connected to back in Greece where the first Olympics were. And we're still here. And then you're part of it.
Thank you. These sophisticated tools, a computer, the audio mechanics, having a producer who's across town, Jimmy Tran, the best I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
And so it's allowed me to resurrect a super celebrity who was big back in Las Cruces on the Pan American court. And here you are today through the magic of these gadgets. And I can still be here to experience these thrills. And I love my work as much as you love yours over the years. And it thrills me, Chito, to be able to get with my producer, plan a show. We push a button and magic.
Yeah.
There's Chito Reyes.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm Henry T. And here we are, resurrecting the good old days. Isn't that a blessing?
Oh my goodness, yes. And you know what? It's now from here on in, nobody can ever take that away anymore. You can always reach back and find this 20 years from now, our conversation that you and I are having today. And I think that, wow, what else do you ask for? People are going to remember.
Yeah, and I say that I was a kid watching the Aggies, and all you guys are my heroes. And today, to have the incredible experience of meeting you, here we are, close friends today, and we can do this magic for a lot of people. That is so special to me. Chito, I can't even put that into words.
Yeah. But see, this is the thing, Henry, where all the athletes, everybody you interview, or any person, coaches that you interview, you're making that possible for everybody. And in turn, we're all grateful for what you do for everybody, because you bring it out, make it possible for everybody else. And I know I'll always be indebted for you. You kind of resurrected my name in a little bit. And it just makes this a good ego booster. And you always try to be, I know that what you've done, I'll never be able to repay you for just, having us back again, in the limelight of the people. That's awesome. Thanks.
Well, thank you for that. But it's just a reflex action. You're a part of my long life because, man, you did some great things.
Oh, thank you.
I was an athlete who appreciated athleticism at your level.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Because once you hit that shot, you speeded down the court, big number 52, 6'8" or 9", whatever you are, and you got back and you dug in and played Lou Henson defense. Yeah. Wow, what a thrill to be there. And then today, that memory of you and your buddies, I can bring out again through the mechanisms. Wow. And the people, I mean, I get so many compliments when I have Chito Reyes on there. My email and Facebook will light up because when you talk, people listen.
Oh, thank you.
You're interesting, and you're that same memory that Henry T used to have, sitting in the stands Charlie Chris, Sam Lacey, Jimmy Collins.
Yeah.
Wow, Chito Reyes, and your other players. Give me the name of your bench. Give me some of the names.
Uh,
Burgess.
Bill Moore from Demi, Tom McCarthy from New York, Rudy Franco from Cruces. Let's see, we have Milton Horn from Albany, New York, and Lonnie Lefebvre he was from Albany, uh, Albany, New York, yeah. And of course, we have Sam Lacey, Jimmy Collins, Charlie Chris, John Burgess, and all of us. And we're all brothers to this day. We communicate every special holiday. Well, we got a group text. We kind of wish each other Happy Father's Day, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving. And I think that's so special because what we were back then, we're still trying to hold on to that. There's 8 of us left, Henry, of the 13, and there's 8 left, and we lost Coach Hansen. So, we really have to treasure these 8, and we're doing that. So, like I said, how special it is to me, it's special for them too. So, what else can you ask for, man? It was a gift from God to us to be placed in that situation.
What is your height? What was your playing height?
I was 6'6".
What?
I was 6'6". I'm about 6'4" and a half, 6'5" now. Coming down now. Yeah, but I can imagine. I see some of those pictures. I'm so skinny and running around. I could run like a deer, but that it's just funny.
How
big
was Sam Lacey?
What's that?
How big was Sam Lacey?
Oh, he was like 6'11", 6'10", 6'11". He had some huge hands, and it was just amazing. I remember the first time that I met these guys, when our assistant coach took me and one of the other recruits that picked us up at the airport, went to New Mexico State, left our bags in the dorm room and said, I want you to meet some of the guys. We go to the other dorms and at Alumni Hall, and we go in there and knock on the door, and we hear music playing. And when they open the door, there's Sam Lacey opens the door, and Jimmy Collins is sitting on the bed. They're playing cards, I think. But Sam opens the door, and he covers the whole door. And I look up at him and oh boy, I said, you know what? We're with the big boys now. That's the first impression that someone's like, I'm now with the big boys. And then it was not only in height, but in stature and ability and what a blessing. I'm telling you, I just go back and I remember everything like that. So special.
The game you had with UCLA, was it Landover, Maryland, the site?
It was College Park, Maryland.
College Park. All right. Sam Lacey gets hurt.
Yes.
In that game that night.
Yeah.
Early in the game.
Yeah. First half.
Had Sam been healthy the whole night, that was a close game. Could the Aggies have realized the national championship?
Yes. I if you ever had a chance, like I said, you don't want to blame and have an excuse for that, but you want to be, want to go in the competition, with all your full ammunition. And I tell you what, and one of the things that I've always believed in, if you're kind of more or less even, they were supposed they had better talent, but it can make up in any game you stay within, distance. Anything could happen, a steal here, a steal there. And we were fighting. Yeah, we were trying to fall back a little bit. But the main thing is that when you're even more or less at the end, that's where Coach Sensei would come in and then Coach wouldn't. So now it's them, not only us, but their coaching comes into play too. And I would have bet Coach Hansen against anybody too. I don't care who it is. So we had a shot, Henry. We honestly had a shot at it. And of course it didn't turn out. But then again, we proved our power when we beat St. Bonaventure easily for 3rd place. So
reiterate it again so people will know what I asked and what you said. First game of the Final Four, you play UCLA.
Right.
Sam Lacey gets hurt early in the game.
The first half.
Yeah, and the game was close the rest of the way regardless.
Yeah.
But if Sam was on the floor, who knows? He would have contributed 25 more points.
Yes, yeah.
The rest
and not only that, but it's just like when the game would start getting tougher in the second half, now you see the intensity, and now you pick it up. Whether you're supposed to do that out from the beginning, but at the end, that ball goes up and the rebounds. Who wants it? And we had that intensity, and and not just because they were taller or bigger. That doesn't mean they're going to get the ball. We would want to get that ball too. So we never had that chance to deal with our big man. And we were oversized, but like I said, we still fought. We weren't going to stop fighting, but it turned out we were short. But like I said, when we came out, now they beat us. Yeah, okay. And that was actually, everybody was saying that game was actually the national championship game. That should have been the championship game.
Wow.
instead of us, like Jackson was. So we were, we had a lot of newspapers say that we were the best team in the country who saw us play, and that we had the best guards combination, the best big man, and just going back and forth like that, So that we had, everybody really respected, and we had a lot of people that were backing us up and wanting us to do that. But like I said, Sam got hurt, and
Now, I bet Aggie fans all over New Mexico, all over the country, were crying 96 tears.
Yeah.
Big Sam went down.
Yeah. He was crying.
Well, what a joy. I
Thank
love interviewing Chito Reyes, ladies and gentlemen. We can talk about anything. And look around. We don't have any notes. The notes are here.
Yeah.
And the notes are in our heart. And I love what I do, man. Every time I step out here with you and other people, high school kids, or with the great Chito Reyes or whomever, I love being here with you guys.
Of course.
Thank you for your presence on this show. People love you on this show, Chito.
Well, I thank you, Henry. And like I said, what you do is incomparable, because what you've done for a while now. I know you took a break, but what you do is you not only do you for the people, but for us, all the people that you interview. It's a blessing, and thank you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Well, we'll do it again soon, because I tell you, I don't have to tell you. People are going to tell me, get Chito on. How long has it been, Henry?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Henry.
Say hi to Mom.
We'll do that.
Family and Armando and everybody I know out there. But
okay, we'll do that.
Chito Reyes for helping me today.
Yeah. God bless, my friend. Take care. All right.
Take care.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Hey, Chito.
Yeah.
Real quick. If I threw you the ball on a court right now and it's out on the wing behind the three, could you hit that shot?
With my eyes closed.
With an arm tied behind your
You would
back.
like to think that. I would like to think that, but yeah, that was, I would, okay, before you go, when I was first starting to play in elementary school, just at the house on a dirt lot in an old rim and no net, I used to get a volleyball, and from the side, they'd be like 3-4 steps. And I always said, you know what? I want to go somewhere where I can always make it. And I would just shoot that volleyball and I would do it. And I get to the point where I could just pretty much do it with my eyes closed. Then I started extending it a little bit more. And lo and behold, that became my favorite shot throughout my career. And that's why I made it a little bit easier, because that's how I started, with a volleyball and a coffee can up there. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, what was the diet that Mom had for you every night after practice? What did you eat?
What are you talking about diet? The tortillas and the beans and the potatoes and whatever it was delicious. And chili, that was really good. That was a staple on that. So
amazing. See, it's a humble, beautiful, exciting story every time we get on the air together. God bless you, Chito Reyes. Be careful.
God bless you too, man.
Okay?
Thank you.
See
Thank you, my friend. Take care. God bless.
God
Okay.
bless you.
All right. Bye. Bye.
Wow. What a thrill. And I know you're tickled about it too, because you love Chito Reyes. And I love interviewing Chito. And I really thank from the bottom of my heart Jimmy Tran, our producer. I've had 1 million producers in my television career. Numero uno is Jimmy Tran, who's working with me today. We'll do a whole feature on Jimmy someday soon. But I've got some things working. My career is going to restart up. I've got some plans I'm pursuing right now, so look out. Henry T is coming back with force. And thank you for watching today. We'll see you. We'll see you soon. And I'm Henry T. Take it easy out there. Enjoy whatever you're doing today. And do that, even if it's relaxation, do it with all your heart. If you're doing your job, man, like Chito said, do it as best you can. Have a great day. See you soon. Thank you.